So our question for today is, why did God really place a rainbow in the sky? So Galatians 3:24 states that wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ. So what that basically means is the point of the Old Testament was to educate us and to help us to see Christ and to recognize him, understand who he is better. God, he speaks to mankind in a way that they can relate. So for example, compared the kingdom of heaven unto a field. They kept crops in those days, so that was something they were familiar with. Another thing, when he talked to his disciples and he told them, he said, you're going to be fishers of men. He was speaking to them in a way in which they could relate because they were fishermen. The bow, for a second, that's mentioned in Genesis. It doesn't actually say rainbow. It's referring to a weapon of war. So like archery or a bow and arrow. Okay, so a quick little side note here on the Israel Bible Center website. It states that the Hebrew term for bow can refer to either a rainbow, an archer's bow used in hunting or warfare. And then also here you can see where it states that the bow portion of the term from the Hebrew means bow in the sense of archery. From this point forward, I need you to think of the bow that God mentioned in Genesis that he was going to put in the sky. Think of that as a weapon of war. Don't think of it as like this magical fairy tale with a pot of gold at the end. Think of it as a weapon of war. Okay, so now moving forward, Genesis 9:13, God says, I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be a token between me and earth. Fast forward. So the earth has been flooded. Everybody's safe. And they look up in the sky and they see a bow. Why would God place a bow in the sky after the destruction of all mankind? I know this isn't the best illustration, but if you notice, this is a bow and arrow or a bow, and the horizontal part is facing mankind and the curved part is facing heaven. Why would God face an arrow towards heaven? Yes, I did destroy an evil and a wicked generation, but I'm going to take that same curse that you think is against mankind and I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to put this curse back upon my own self. So fast forward, this is what he does. He takes the bow, he points it towards heaven. He launches the curse or the arrow back towards his own self, and he allows that curse to be upon himself for us. Well, when did God take an arrow for us? God took the arrow for us on the cross. Luke chapter 19:34 states, but one of the soldiers with a spear pierced his side, and forthwith came there out blood and water. So this is foreshadowing two things in one. He is God. God is one. And number two, that he is the redeemer of our souls.